What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Spotlight Podcast.
Spotlight.
Where the truth taste the mic. Shining on the real. Bringing the dark to light. The stories is untold.
It's untold.
Well, now it's hitting their ears.
Just hit their ears.
Breaking down the noise. Cutting down the fear.
Cut down that shit.
From the streets to the booth. Where we bring the real raw talk.
Raw talk.
Voice of the people.
For the people.
Let the vibe unlock. Spotlight Podcast is the name.
It's the name.
Now the mission is clear. Tune in. Level up.
Level up.
Cause your moment is here.
It's here.
We're live. No cap.
No cap.
This is where it's at. Where we drop the gems in your feed. So you better react.
Better.
Hit that play button.
Hit it.
Stay woke.
Stay woke.
Don't miss your chance. Spotlight Podcast. It's your time. So let's advance. What up? What's up? What's up, Spotlight Podcast? I thank everyone who tuned into the first episode. I'm your host, Little Way, and I got my special guest here, George P. Brooks from Metta Mindset, and pretty nice guy. I actually did an interview with him once before with my old podcast team, and gave us some good, interesting, conversation. How's it going there, buddy?
It's going pretty good, pretty good. Like you mentioned, from Metta Mindset Mentoring and Coaching. I just started that just last week. It's a brand new endeavor, offering life coaching based on our expertise, clinical training, and life experience. So we are basically really tailored toward Black men and dealing with the unique Black experience, in the sense that with our life coaching, we deal with whether you're dealing with a mental illness or not, whether you're dealing with addiction or not, whether you are dealing with racial trauma. We can speak to those unique issues that Black men deal with in our coaching. So we deal with career issues, addiction, custody battles, co-parenting. If you need help navigating through that, especially if you have a diagnosable mental illness or have issues dealing with that and maybe even reconciling that, you can contact us at Metta Mindset Mentoring Coaching. Metta Mindset Mentoring and Coaching. You can reach us at www.meta.com. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. What made you start Metta Mentoring and Coaching?
Well, it actually started when I began my recovery about 6-7 years ago. When I started to address my mental health issues, when I began to address my chronic health issues, when I began to address my 10-year addiction to cocaine. Upon my healing, I got the idea, and 6 years ago, I started my nonprofit called Metta Association. It's a nonprofit registered 501c3 where we deal with issues concerning Black mental health, Black men in mental health. We fight recidivism, and we promote fatherhood. And in my journey as a public speaker, as an advocate over these 6 years, I've developed a coaching method that I'm introducing to the public called Metta Mindset. It's a way of thinking that will help foster change and recovery in those living with and without mental illness. Because to be honest, that's one thing we're all affected by, whether it be directly or indirectly, is mental illness. So my life coaching, Metta Mindset Mentoring and Coaching, is tailor-made for Black men, but we're so universal and so inclusive that we can help anyone. So please contact us at www.metammc.com.
All right. My next question is, what is a fun fact that other people don't know about you?
Ooh, I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. I got into Dragon Ball back when I was 18. It's back in 1996. I've been a lifelong. In fact, I'm finna get my first tattoo. It's gonna be Vegeta on this song and Batman on this song. And so my love for Dragon Ball go back to like late high school, early college. I worked in the anime store for a year. Hell, I was about Dragon Ball now, and the cool thing is my sons 14 and 19, we in the Dragon Ball together. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So we all like we went to Kamehameha, which is a big Dragon Ball convention they have in Dallas. The three of us went together, man. It was real cool. So it's cool to see that, you know, you can have some generational with your son, something that you was into, but then they really feeling it themselves. So it's cool you get to share that with your kids. So that's a fun fact about me. I'm a cool ass dad, but I'm a good father. So I'm gonna tell this to my fellow fathers out there. Try to find something you got in common with your kids, man. Try to find something y'all can vibe on together, because it's gonna make things more fun. It's gonna make your relationship better.
Good. I like that. What else do you like doing fun with the kids?
Man, we gamers, man. My first console was an Atari 2600 back in '83. My older sister got me into playing video games, and my son playing his PS5. So we do gaming together. Like we might hop on Fortnite together later. You know what I'm saying? He got the new Dragon Ball game. We want to play it together. That's something we like to do fun together. I'm a big Batman fan. My youngest son getting into Batman. It's so much fun. Like I've always tried to be the kind of dad that did stuff with my kids. So I mean, it's so much stuff that we, you know. So that's something else. You know, there's something else that's fun about me. I like playing them slots. You know, I don't mind. I ain't gonna lie. You know, I will take $40 and dip out for a minute for a couple of hours. Gonna hit her up. She try to bust her head. You know, sometimes I do all right, but I don't never lose what I came in with. So it's just a hobby.
Yeah, got you.
I'm 420 friendly. You know, I believe in that. And I'm just a cool person to get to know. But I got my purpose. God gave me a purpose, which is try to stop people from having to live the trauma that I had to live. And that's why I'm doing my nonprofit. That's why I'm doing my public speaking. I'm gonna film some comedy stuff coming up next week. That's why I'm doing my life coaching, because you know, you get a free consultation with me. You go to our website, sign up, you get a free call with me to discuss a plan for you, ways to help you out, ways to help you if you stuck in a rut, things like that. And this is my purpose. But yeah, I like that question about, you know, things that people wouldn't maybe know about me. And also, I'm bipolar. I've been bipolar since '87. My son, if finna turn 20, he's bipolar. He was diagnosed at '87. So raising a bipolar son been interesting. Get a lot of police calls to the house. Get a lot of calls from school. Get a lot of calls. You get a lot of missing nights where you don't know where they at. You
Yeah.
know, it's a lot of that involved, you know, in raising a child with a mental illness, especially while I'm trying to navigate my own mental illness, you know, and raising 5 kids and doing all this. So
So how's it like, raising a kid with the mental illness for people that don't know what it goes through, or don't know how to start with that?
I can't speak for every child, but my son is especially stubborn. Nothing to do with his mental illness, just his personality. He just stubborn. He a Sagittarius. So I was gonna get it anyway. I was
Yeah.
gonna get it. I already knew I'm gonna get it anyway. But when he turned about '87 and started showing up symptoms, I said I'm really finna get it. So it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge. He's had a lot of external factors, some abuse I wasn't aware of, some things, and he just now got his first place, and he'll be 20 tomorrow. But it's been hell.
Dang.
One incident cost me $10,000.
Woo.
One incident.
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
Attorneys involved, courts involved, other folks involved. It's been hell. But you know, it been a lot of it's been because it's bipolar. He wasn't controlling his bipolar. You know, and
God.
now he's finna be 20 tomorrow. He's accepted a lot of things about how to manage his bipolar, but it's a blessing because he's learning lessons in 19 and 20 that I didn't learn till I was 40, 41, 42. So he's learning how to navigate his illness a lot better than what I was equipped to do.
Okay.
So that's one thing I try to teach the people. I'm gonna teach you how to navigate your bipolar. It ain't gonna be perfect. It'll be a whole lot better than what you're dealing with. And who knows, it can be optimal to what you want to do. So that's one thing. I got plenty of testimony. Through that testimony, healing and hope can be endeavored upon. Because I'm a big believer in therapy. I've been in therapy myself 6 years.
So,
Changed my life.
so by that, what about you stay right there? Can you share a little bit about your own personal journey and challenges that you overcame?
First of all, chronic health. chronic health, diabetic since age 9, insulin dependent, heart defect, osteoarthritis. I was morbidly obese as a teenager, but had weight loss surgery to save my life. So I'm on about 17 medications every day. Bipolar, PTSD, DID. Man, went through custody battles, divorce trauma, emotional abuse coming up, 10-year addiction to cocaine, homelessness, very recent homelessness, economic poverty, breakups, abandonment. I haven't talked to my family in 7 years. So yeah, there's some pretty good challenges. So I kinda know how to navigate myself around all this. So those just some this is some
If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Kurt Cobain right now. I would just, just knowing who he was as an artist. And like my son say, there are a lot of similarities between me and him personality wise that they can see. I think it'd be an interesting conversation to have. I know a lot of people say, well, why wouldn't you go for a dignitary? Why wouldn't you go for somebody that was world changing? But the question was, who would I want to have a talk with? And that's who I want to have a talk with, Kurt Cobain. I think it'd be an interesting conversation. Well, there are lots of people that have departed that I would love to have conversations with because I'm a conversationalist. But yeah, that's the first person that came to mind, Kurt Cobain. Ask him about his art. Ask him about his mindset. Ask him about his expression, because there are a lot of similarities between me and him.
All right, could you tell me uh a favorite memory of your from your childhood?
Man, wow, a favorite. Probably Christmas of '89. That stands out to me. That particular Christmas stands out because it was my entire family together, and we were living in some prosperous times, and it was a good Christmas, and I remember there was a certain sense that year. That was one of those waves in life. Sometimes in life, our economic status, especially when we're kids, undulates. We have one Christmas, but we may not have nothing the next. And we was on that waves where we had a little bit. So that Christmas kind of stands out to me. So that's a fond memory for me coming up.
So where you from?
Memphis, Tennessee, Parkway Lauderdale is where I grew up at. I grew up in South Memphis and White Haven, and when I left Memphis, I lived in Fraser for 10 years. So I'm Memphis to my heart, but I moved to Dallas 6 years ago, and Dallas has been wonderful to me. Have great love, deep love for Dallas. So I'm originally from Memphis, but now I reside in the DFW.
All right. Can you compare your neighborhood from growing up until now?
Wow, my neighborhood growing up was the hood. I mean, it wasn't nothing to go in your front yard and see some rangers. And I remember there were points where we lived with no lights and no running water for a whole year in a two-bedroom apartment. There were six of us. The kind of neighborhoods where we go to the corner store. My mama had to pull a gun on somebody one time that came up to her. You know what I'm saying? It was like that coming up, but there were periods of peaceful times and prosperity. But where I am now, it's a working class neighborhood. It's peaceful. It's quiet. It's clean. It's mostly Latinos in the neighborhood, but it's peaceful, and that's really what the difference is. There was so much tumult in where I grew up coming up, but to at least have a momentary sense of peace where I am, it's very rewarding, it's very satisfying, and it's actually just comfort.
Mhm. So if you had the ability to change any neighborhood from the poverty and everything else, from all the drama, how would you do that?
Well, I've actually been a campaign manager, so I'm kind of attuned to some certain things that can fortify a community. First thing you do is shore up the education, shore up the schools in the neighborhood, get people to where they aren't busing their children outside. If you vitalize the neighborhood, if you vitalize you best vitalize the neighborhood by vitalizing the city, which means you shore up your school system. People don't understand how much that companies that are looking to relocate where industry is looking to focus and take root, they look at your not only your political makeup and your political structure in your city, but they also look at your school system. That's the thing because they're talking about investing in your community, whereas their children have to be educated. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. So people don't understand the value in that. So I would cheer up the educational system. I would make sure that we had a mass transit system, a city with a mass transit system that's effective and affordable and sustainable, can transport people to work, across town, to school, things like that. Because not everybody has access to a vehicle, and you don't want to clog up your infrastructure with vehicles when you don't have to. That's part of having a thriving city. So those are just two things, but I've got a litany, a list of things I can come up with to help revitalize the inner city. But people have to understand a lot of that comes from external action.
Cool. I like that. I like that idea. By you saying that, do you think? How can I put that? Do you any or had any chances to think about expanding Meta nationwide?
Well, Meta is actually we've actually gotten calls from Scotland. I've done some work in Africa, so we're actually worldwide. But as far as expanding, what I really want to do is expand our programs that we use to help people. Currently, we've done a food drive during the pandemic. We're associated with a school system out here where we've done mentoring through Meta Association with in conjunction with another association. My public speaking, where I advocate and educate about mental illness, about recovery. We've done our work that way. So we partner with other organizations, and we welcome other nonprofits and other organizations that are looking to collaborate with us. You can contact Meta Association at 214-810-6518. It's 214-810-6518. Well, as far as expansion, we're looking to expand, but we're looking to expand in a way that's going to be beneficial to people and serve our purpose and what God's purpose is for us, which is to help those living with and affected by mental illness.
Mhm. Uh, how do you handle a setback after pursuing your goals?
Wow, because the thing about setbacks is that, oh God, they never stop coming, and they will come. First thing about how you deal with a setback is understand they're going to happen no matter how much you do. And once you accept that, it helps you develop a mindset where you can prepare and adjust for them. So the way that I deal with a setback is that I take a second, I look at the situation, I assess the situation, then I discard anything that is beyond my control, and then I take action accordingly, and I pray about it. So I treat a setback just like I treat many things in my life. There's usually a cooling off period. There's usually an assessing of the situation. There's usually then another assessment of what I can do to the situation. Then there's my action, and then there's prayer. Usually prayer goes first, but there's definitely prayer after I take my action to hope that my actions have been enough, and I just leave it in God's hands. So that's how I deal with setbacks.
Okay, by you saying that, what impact do you hope to leave the world through your work and personal life?
I think about this a lot because I think an important part of being a man, especially when he has children, is to leave them some sort of inheritance. I believe it's in the Bible that a man is supposed to leave inheritance to his children. And it doesn't always have to be fiduciary. It ain't always got to be money. It ain't always got to be cause. Sometimes it can be a legacy.
Yeah.
My son told me about a year ago, he said, through your nonprofit Meta Association, Dad, you've already given me a legacy. You've already created some of yourself that I can carry with me that is of you.
Yeah.
So the thing is, this was important. That's what I want to be remembered for. Somebody that really did try to help people and spread awareness about mental health, even if it means telling everything and putting his whole heart and everything into it. Even if it means maybe missing a few bucks to keep the purpose going, but I'm still grinding. But the fact that my son already said, Dad, you've already given me a legacy, that's all I need. But that don't mean I'm done yet. So that's why want to be remembered as somebody that was real, that really, really tried and was really, really about doing the work.
Yeah, you're right about that one. My dad does a lot of carpentry work, and
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing he taught me was a few things on how to do. I don't know how to do a lot of things, but I do know how to hang up a couple of cabinets. I do know how to use a tool, a couple of tools, and do engraving work, and know how to lay in floor, do tiles, stuff like that. But so leaving a legacy for your kids is a number one priority and thing. So I do honestly agree with that one.
Cool.
Can you describe a moment of a personal information that changed, not challenged, but changed your life?
Can you repeat that one more time for me?
Can you describe a moment of a personal transformation that changed your life?
Oh, man, what started my recovery is I was at rock bottom, man. My wife had just left, going through custody battles, deep in addiction, economic thing, finna lose everything. And I was laying on the couch, and I was going through multiple organ failure. That's how low I got. I got down 135 pounds. I was laying on the couch. I was looking at a spot in the wall, and it was like it was light on the spot in the wall, and I couldn't take my eyes off of it. And I said, "Oh, this is my moment. This shit right here, where I can decide whether to go into that light and go home, or just see what happens." And it's like God spoke to me. He said, "I ain't done with you yet." And I
Yeah.
felt myself fade. I felt myself going. I was ready to let go. There was no anxiety about my kids at that point. There was no me wondering what was going on with them. There was just peace. But then it's like he snatched me back, said, "No, no, 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 not you. I'm not done with you. You come over here." So that was a personal moment of transformation for me.
You said something about your anxiety a little back ago through the interview. How did you overcome your health issues and relate to your anxiety?
Just addressing my issues, addressing that trauma, addressing those things that really caused the addiction and caused the problems on my end. You know what I'm saying? Developing a sense of accountability and just dealing with my stuff. And once you start to deal with your stuff, you understand that where that anxiety comes from and you can better deal with it. So that's where people mess up. They don't oftentimes deal with their real issues. And we know, especially as black men, we know we have.
Yeah.
You know you got them, I know. You know we got this stuff about us that's messed up, but you know we do. We sit around and we just say, "This is how I am." Okay, that's just how you are, but what it mean? So
What are
that
you gonna
means
do to fix it?
yeah, exactly. It means you're gonna continue to be messed up and hurt other people because this is the way you are. Who is that fair to? This ain't fair to you.
Yeah.
Because we got a lot of hurt. Black men, we got a lot of tears we need to shed. You know what I'm saying? But we need to learn when and how and feel comfortable in shedding. I'll tell you about what happened to me. I think it was early today. Me and my son, you know, we really in the Green Day. Me and my oldest son, really, me and all three. We just saw them live in Dallas. We've been waiting since he was 7 to do it. Real good bonding experience. They got this song they just put out called Father to a Son.
Okay.
Anytime I hear this song, I'm crying, man, because it made me think about me and my two boys. That song came on early. I was on the phone. I ain't gonna lie, them tears came. See, that's good. That's a good way for a black man to show his emotion. I ain't trying to hold that in. I ain't gonna cry. Man, this my son. I felt something. I'm okay crying. Now, that don't mean if I stub my toe, I'm calling for my mama. And that don't mean, oh, the world did that to me. I ain't talking about that. But I'm talking about us being comfortable having healthy ways to express our emotions because that'll help us all in general. And we got to learn to come together and understand, brother. Let me, you know, if you need the shoulder to cry on, man, cry on my shoulder, bro. We need to be like that because you're gonna have them moments. Now, when it come time for you to buck up, when it come time for you to man up, yeah, I'm gonna be on your ass for real. I'm on you. But when you need that moment, when you need that peace, anything I can do to help you as my brother, I'm gonna do. If we can develop that mindset, man, what's it gonna do in the black community by itself?
Yeah.
Imagine what, and we can foster that. It's never going to be a panacea. It's never going to be a utopia, but by nature of black folks, you know we crabs in the bucket. You know we never truly unite. Look who they took this last election. Who they put out as far as our black leaders? Beyonce. Who the hell she never led other than the chorus line? You know, Malcolm X said something about, you know what? When they want to control us, what they do is they trumpet out supporters. He said, when have you ever seen a white leader that plays a trumpet? Or he said something like that. But this election, who the Kamala and them trump out? All entertainers.
You sure
What,
right
what,
about
what
that
do they
one.
say about us? What they say about where we at? See, we got to deal with that kind of stuff as black men as well as our mental health. And imagine your brother like me that actually is bipolar and have to deal with life on top of it. We got to fix that. We got to do some real work, just politically. And I'm so glad. I mean, I don't know how political you want me to get.
You good. This the floor on this your floor.
Brothers taking a stand for their mental health because a lot of and I'm finna tie this together. A lot of the reason black men voted for Trump is because we tired of being underrepresented. We tired of being insulted. We tired of not having our interests met. All Obama did was make it cool for LBGTQ. What he do for the brothers? I thought he was one of us. But where's our mental health being addressed there? Where are the grants to help our mental health? And then when Kamala, she tries to pacify black men, the only thing she do is talk about legalizing weed. Like that's all we care about, legalizing weed. Hey, vote for black men, I'm gonna legalize weed, vote for me. Well, hell, we gonna smoke anyway, so we don't necessarily need you to legalize it. Hell, maybe we don't want you to. Now you can drop some of these bullshit charges you got brothers locked up on for weed, but
Yeah,
legalize it, hell, we gonna get it. Hell, I might get some tomorrow, just being honest. But
sure.
that's the thing. I think we're tired of having to feel the same gender roles and things like that. Excuse me, especially with a lot of women with the boss energy they have. This turned a lot of us off. A lot of women feel, and it's not their fault. I swear it's not their fault because they've had to fulfill a role as being a single parent. Because a lot of us, man, we done fell off. Y'all know them brothers don't do nothing for their kids, don't try and make excuses. Was she hard to deal with? Well, so what? Mine was hard to deal with too. I still fuck with my kids. We got too many of them, and we need to start holding them brothers accountable because they think that's all of us.
You're right about that.
I know
You're
brothers
right about that.
I know more brothers that fuck with their kids that don't. But the perception is, and what the media wants to tell about us is that we don't do that. Nah, man. Now we need to do better. But see, we got to fix our mental health first and our trauma first. Then we can help and have a bond with our women. See, we got to be whole before we bring anything to our women. Or if you gay, or if you bring your partner, because there ain't no problem with that. I don't care. Don't
Me
bother me.
neither.
Ain't my, as long as you're a good person. Because I tell you what, once we do that, we can help women heal from their trauma. Because women got a lot of trauma. And women have a unique trauma that they must address, that they should address, that I want women to address. Because their challenges are so unique and so different from ours that I think sometimes we forget that we don't understand. My sister dealing with something, and I can't necessarily do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? It's different from mine, and sometimes we take it for granted each other.
Yeah.
We think they feel what I'm feeling. When they angry, their anger looks like my anger. No, it don't. It don't.
What makes Metta Mindset mentoring and coaching unique compared to other coaching services?
Man, you got. We're backed by a licensed therapist. We have access to a licensed therapist. I'm a certified life coach. I do have certification. My testimony, I'm pursuing my master's in psychology currently. And like I said, we have access to therapy services. So I have a plan in place to help navigate some of the issues in life, career. If you're going through a divorce, a marriage, a life situation, or just want to improve and get clarity in your life in general, especially from the perspective of a black male who's seen a lot, lived through a lot, learned a lot, survived a lot, that can really point you in the right direction. Metta Mindset Mentoring and Coaching is the place for you. So you can reach us at www.mettammc.com. Do not hesitate to reach out to us and set up a free call. You'll speak with me directly and let's have a good conversation. www.mettammc.com.
Hey. How do your coaching sessions meet individuals?
Well, the first thing we do is that we assess what's going on in your life. We just have a conversation. What we do is, the first thing I do is have them address what they think is their needs and what they need to, what they would like to improve upon. So we develop an action plan. There is work to do outside of the coaching. There may be introspection required, actual action on seeing these plans come to fruition. So it's not just a matter you just go to the session and leave the session. It's okay. It's all inclusive. I make myself available 24 hours, 7 days a week for emergencies. My calendar is open 24 hours. So if you're on the other side of the world and your time is, your 9 a.m. is my 1 a.m., I'll be up at 1 a.m. Make myself available. I make myself accountable. And I know how to address and navigate all those issues, those unique issues that we as black men face in a compassionate way, in a way with discretion, in a way with respect.
Okay. All right. Y'all hear that, black people? Next question is, Can you share a success story from one of your clients?
Okay. I had this client at a mentoring program where, through my nonprofit Metta Association, we taught job training to people that had come out of prison to help them get new jobs. And one of the gentlemen was at a job that he hated, and he had, was trying to develop a life plan. So he and I chopped it up basically, and I said, "Well, what are your interests?" And through our conversation, I found out he had a passion for video games. So I told him, apply for a job at this place. I used to manage a video game store back in the day. So I said, apply to this place. I said, if you want to do something, and especially if you're gonna make money doing it, might as well make money doing something, being associated with something that you're passionate about. He was really passionate about video games like me. So he came in about a week later, he thanked me. He said he got a job at the video game store. So he was able to make his money and do something he loved doing. And that was something that I was really, really felt good about, and it was really made me happy, and it showed that we do have an actual effect on people through our mentoring, and that was done through Metta Association, through my relationship and collaboration that I had back then. So that's one example of that instance.
What are some common changes your clients face, and how do you help them overcome them?
Usually, the first thing they have to overcome is not having a sense of accountability, and that's a scary thing to develop because you really have to look at self first, and that's one thing I've learned and am learning each day. Once you develop a sense of accountability, you can take accountability for healing yourself and healing your trauma. Once you can do that, as happened with me uh, when I became tired of myself and was ready to embark upon my recovery from addiction and mental health issues, my accountability helped me address my trauma. And when I addressed my trauma, the addiction, getting over the addiction to cocaine became easier. It was by no means easy at all, but it made it simpler for me. It made it easier for me to see where I was going because I was removing the cloud and the muck from that trauma. So I was seeing, okay, this is hurting me. Now that I'm dealing with this, I don't feel the compulsion and need to use so much to dull the pain anymore because it doesn't hurt as much. So that's how that works out.
Mhm. What is your feedback that you have received from your clients about your approach and your impact and challenging of coaching?
That they feel inspired, that they feel motivated, that they feel as though I've really gone out of my way to help them. One lady, she'll tell you now. She actually has a podcast too, and I was an advocate for her. And if I pop in our podcast and say, hey, she'll say, hey, this is Metta Association. And he actually showed up for me and he actually advocated for me. And, there are people in Memphis that will tell you that I've been a staunch advocate, a dedicated advocate, and a passionate advocate. So that's really who I am. And I feel like that's what God has bestowed upon me in terms of my purpose because our purpose is our blessing. And that's what I love doing. So anything I can do that works toward that goal, toward that end, that's what I'm passionate about, then that's what I'm going to do. So try to find something you're passionate about and try to pursue it and try to monetize it and make it your own.
How can someone book a session with Metta?
Well, you can best reach me at www.meta. We have links there where you can schedule a talk with me. I'm available. I have bookings available. So if you go to www.metammcom, there's a button right there called Schedule Your Call Today. Just click on that, set a time, put in your information, and I will look forward to speaking to you soon about collaboration, about my nonprofit, about public speaking, anything. Mainly, we're looking for clients for life coaching that need mentoring. We also mentor young boys as well. So if you have a teenage son that maybe could benefit from online mentoring or any kind of mentoring, we actually have an affiliation with a Dallas school system where we mentor teenage young men. So we're available for that. We can provide guidance, career resources, all types of things. So we do try to do full service life coaching in a way that's going to be beneficial to you, in a way that's going to provide you ways to improve your life or sustain your lifestyle. But in any end, by the time you're done with a group of sessions with us, you will have methods to help you cope, to help you find enrichment, and then hopefully help you find peace.
All right. So, what are your age limits?
We really don't have any. we can mentor anyone. We have access to professionals who can help us tailor that on that end. Mostly, we will help anyone. A woman can get the same life coaching. We have access to female clinicians to help you. So, women, please don't feel like this is excluding you, because it's really not. But you might have a 15-year-old kid may need some mentoring. Hey, call us. We can talk about some sessions. Especially if you're in the career field, if you're looking at changing careers, if you feel like you're stuck in a rut in your career, just just feel free to contact us. And there are really no age limits, there are no race limits, there are no limits. But we do understand the unique challenges that Black men face, and just let you all know that we are here for you. We are one of you, and we will help you.
You say you do career placements. Like, what kind of career placements do you do? Is it like
But
job placements or
we do that
schooling?
through right. We do that through our nonprofit Metta Association. We have an affiliation with a few organizations to where if someone needs a job, we can point them into the direction of job fairs. We can point to the companies that can employ them, even those that may be just as affected. So there are resources just through networking. I can teach a whole class just on networking, especially Black enfranchisement and Black prosperity on networking, and how we really need to integrate that into how we maneuver and what we do. So I have a lot to offer, but right now the best way to reach me is at www.meta.
Does that involve in trade schools and schools as well?
Well, we teach a philosophy of especially our young men and young women pursuing a trade as well as their formal education, so that way they can make themselves as recession resistant as possible. I learned this through experience in life. So I actually did plumbing for a year. Not saying I'm a plumber or remember anything, but I'm pursuing my formal education too. But I've learned through the wisdom of men wiser than me at this point that it's important to maybe take a 6 month trade course in the summer, over the summer, while you pursue your formal education, to make sure that you have a trade as well as your degree. So that makes you as recession proof and as marketable and valuable as possible.
Yeah, I say that because I feel like these younger kids nowadays, to get them off the streets too, they don't have opportunities to get jobs, but they are
Right.
willing to learn.
Well, they don't have skills. Yeah, they basically need skills. Once you see, a man's value is when he can give, and the only way he can give, he has to have a skill to make himself marketable to generate revenue. And that's one thing we can empower our young men and young women by giving them skills, by giving them a trade. Hey, if you learn plumbing for 9 months, get your plumbing certificate, no matter what happens in the economy, folks gonna need plumbing.
Yeah,
You know that no matter what. Somebody gonna need electricity. It don't matter what the Dow do. It don't matter what a pandemic do. It don't matter what election do. Folks, hey, they told us gonna still get backed up.
yeah,
And you lived in a house with plumbing problem like I had before. Hey, that's a 9. You getting your pay. You getting your pay. But I did plumbing. Man, we was dead of winter clearing out drains. You think we ain't charged a strain? It's a trade. You ain't got to
yeah,
make you 300 in a day legally. And then you can get yourself to the point you ain't even got to be the one getting dirty. You just go count your money. But you got to work hard to build to that point. So that's why you go get you, if you need to go get you a 2-year business degree while you take your trade. Then get you a 4-year degree. That way you got the book sense to go with that trade sense. Then you're
yeah,
not just the one out there digging the trenches off. At some point you got them digging trenches for you, and you creating jobs and you creating wealth. You
yeah.
gotta have a
Because
plan. You gotta have a method. See, we got to start having these conversations thinking like this, because this game out there. Yeah, but
I
we got to
learned
deal
to
with the hell first.
learn to trade doing
Right,
carpet cleaning,
right,
where I was actually doing upholstery and stuff like that. I was doing water
right,
damage and fire damage and mold removal. And I was teaching my son how to do it. I was taking him to work with me back then,
right.
and I was letting him know how to do it, how to remove mold and all that little trick, little nonsense stuff like that. But I figure a lot of people, some of these trades, like you said, plumbing, carpentry, electricians, some of these kids can get to know knowing that, and That way they don't have to work a 9 to 5. They don't have to work for nobody. They can just pocket their own money and keep moving.
Gotta say something. Y'all know some black men, if we don't start making our sons learning these trades and making this money, the Mexicans gonna do it, and they're gonna push us out the market.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't say that.
Yeah. Oh, me and the wife was just talking about the tariff. Or then bringing in the stuff from like overseas and China and stuff, and how they raised the prices on everything and everybody out here tripping. Well, you gotta look at it like this: how many jobs had they took from the United States so far and put them overseas, like these call center jobs and stuff like that? So every time you call in, look who you talking to. You talking to the foreigners, you know. Well, Mr. Brooks, glad to have you back on my panel again. It's been a while. Again, I thank you for stopping by. God bless you.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Spotlight Podcast. Spotlight. With a true taste of might. Shining on the real. Bringing the dark to light. The stories is untold. It's untold. Well, now it's hitting their ears. Just hit their ears. Breaking down the noise. Cutting down the fear. Cut down that shit. From the streets to the booth. Where we bring the real raw talk. Raw talk. Voice of the people. Of the people. Let the vibe unlock. Spotlight Podcast is the name. That's the name. Now the mission is clear. Tune in. Level up. Level up. Cause your moment is here. It's here. We're alive. No cap. No cap. This is where it's at. Where we drop the gems in your feed. So you better react. Hit that play button. Stay woke. Stay woke. Don't miss your chance. Spotlight Podcast. It's your time.